Welcome to WorkSource Pierce Employer Spotlight, a series of video interviews with local Pierce County employers. Developed in partnership with the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, ResCare Workforce Services, and the Employment Security Department. And here's today's Employer Spotlight.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jenny Capella. I'm from ResCare Workforce Services, and I'm here today with another Employer Spotlight interview. Very blessed today to have Al Shilling from Farmers Insurance. And I want to let you know that during the interview, if you have any questions, please put them down below, right underneath this video, and we'll get to you as soon as we possibly can. So during this time, I'm going to ask Al some questions about his company, the jobs they've got available, etc. So good morning, Al.
Good morning, Jenny. Thank you for having me here. This is awesome. I'm very excited.
You're very welcome. And let's just get right into it. So tell us just a little bit about your title and your company, and the kind of jobs you had, and of course, how people would apply.
Definitely. Well, my name is Al Shilling, like you said, and I'm the executive recruiter for Farmers Insurance, District 10 out in beautiful University Place. We were founded in 1928 by actual farmers, if you can believe that, and been in Washington since 1931. Our staff actually has a combined history in insurance of over 60 years, so we've got quite the experience to set up the training and everything we need to do to help people become successful. We're currently really recruiting for agent apprentice positions. These positions, we have one that's a one-year full-time position that is a salary position where you're going to learn from a mentor agent about being an agency owner. You work in their office Monday through Friday, occasional Saturdays, it happens, and you're going to learn how to become an agency owner. The second one is called the district associate, and that's actually a commission only, but the difference is the commission is yours. It stays in your book of business. You're actually building your book of business out of our district. You have no overhead. It's more of a part-time job to come and go because a lot of people, have full-time bills and they need that other full-time job. So this gives them a chance to dip their toes in insurance, build their book of business out of our district office with all of our training, and not have the overhead and the stress of just starting a scratch agency. And then, of course, we're always looking for licensed customer service reps. These are really the captains of the ship, I like to say. They run the office. They make sure that the payments are in. They're the ones that build the rapport with the customers. They are the most important people, I like to say, other than our clients. And so those are the three main positions. And, of course, we always have the scratch agency ownership opportunities. And those are a whole other different animal. They're very lucrative, but that'd be one you want to call me about to talk about.
All right. Well, thank you. That's a good, thorough introduction. And I'd like to move into a little bit about kind of candidate review. Tell us about your experience working with individuals with disabilities in your company.
Really, disabilities, we have a lot of veterans, actually. Veterans do have disabilities. I'm 25% disabled. Disability doesn't mean you can't work, but it's just a title a lot of times, and it really depends on what you can and can't do. For us, the only thing that you really require is a driver's license, because as an agent, you'll have to go out and meet your clients, you'll go to claims. Not necessarily for a customer service agent, as long as you can get transportation there. So if you don't have a license, we can probably find a staff position for you. But to be an agent, you do have to have a driver's license. And if you're disabled and can't drive, that might be a showstopper, unfortunately. But really, if you put the work in, you're going to be fine in this industry. And it just really depends on the disability. We have to take everybody individually.
Okay, well, good. That's awesome. And then on the same vein, tell us about your experience working with vets. I know that Farmers has a real heart and passion for that topic.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat it? You broke up on me more.
Oh, sure. So tell us a little bit about your experience working with vets.
With vets, well, I'm retired Air Force. Did just under 22 years. Retired out of Camp Murray. Was lucky enough to be active duty with the Air Force and the Air National Guard. So I have that presence on the base still. I'd love to go to their, they have them called brown bag luncheons. This is where transitioning members will meet with possible employers and get to learn about the industries out there. They have great career fairs. And I'd say about 25% of my district is a veteran. We have had a lot of success with the veterans. They're great agency owners. I believe it's the discipline that we get inside the military, and all the training to be, we run staff, we're managers at some point. So you already really have what it takes to be an agency owner. It's just bringing those skill sets out that you forgot you had that the military taught you.
That makes total sense. There is a lot of crossover. Thank you so much. Tell us, I want to talk now about culture, because the number one reason, as we all know, that new hires fail in the first year anywhere is culture. There's a mismatch that happens. Somebody walks in, they have a certain expectation of what the environment's going to be like, and the employer has another. And that statistic never seems to change. So I really want to find out from you what your culture is like at Farmers so that people have a certain clarity. And if there's also some characteristics that you find make really particularly good employees.
Well, that's a great question. And I wish Alec Lewis, my district manager, was here because he'd say it's all about family. One of the reasons he became a district manager is he had some young ones that were just, a 1-year-old, and his wife was pregnant. And he knew he wanted to be family oriented. And being an insurance agency owner gives you the flexibility to run your agency from your house. And it gives you the flexibility to meet with your clients what is convenient for you and convenient for them. So it's really family orientated. We have a lot of fun at my district. Alec Lewis believes in working hard, but also playing hard. We actually have an arcade with a lot of the old school games to help you, de-stress yourself if you've had a long day and maybe haven't been so successful. But the biggest thing is treating everybody with respect in our district, and even the clients. The biggest thing is treating everyone with respect. And we want to make sure that we have people that are outgoing, that are trainable, that like to listen, but also like to listen to not just the training, but their clients, because you really need to listen. And that's how you find out how you can give your best service to a customer. So having a lot of fun is the biggest thing, but also working. You have skin in the game. It is your agency. It's not next man up. If you do bad, it's all on you. So having skin in the game gives you a little bit more to bring to the table, I guess you could say.
That makes sense. Thank you. That was a good description.
Okay. And by the way, I'd like to say that if you are a Street Fighter game, the arcade game, that's my boss's favorite game, and he will take you on anytime. You don't even have to want to be an agent. Just stop by and say, I want to take you on. I can beat you, and he'll give you a good go at it.
Okay, game on, literally. That's great. All right. So we have been getting a lot of questions from people about COVID and the workforce. People asking, of course, none of us know exactly what's going to happen, but just in terms of Farmers, how has COVID impacted you? Are you all telecommuting? Are you part home, part in the office? And then just in the next several months, as much as any of us could foresee, what do you foresee happening in terms of that topic?
Really, COVID hasn't affected our industry like it has other industries. We're in the household budget, which is fortunate for our agency owners. You still need to have our products. Now, of course, Farmers has done a rate reduction for premium on auto because people aren't as driving as much. So they're doing the right thing for their customers, but it doesn't affect the agents. The way we get paid is you have a new business commission when you write a policy, and when the policy renews, you get the commission again. And if you're giving your client excellent customer service, they're going to stay with you, which means you're going to get those residual commissions. So COVID and other economic things won't really affect you. You just have to be in touch with your customers, give good customer service, because like I said, we're in the household budget. The nice thing also, our agents are able to work out of the house. A lot of them have. In fact, for me, my boss, Alec Lewis, was very proactive. When this really started back in the middle of March, he shut our office down until he knew we were safe and all of our staff was safe. And I haven't actually been back to the office since. I'm waiting for him to tell me to come back in. But my job I can do, as you can see from here, I get to talk. That's what I like to do. And so I can do that from anywhere. And as a Farmers agent, we're paperless. And so being paperless, you don't have to have inventory. You don't have to have a store. You can actually work from your house and talk to your clients like we're doing now. And even our training program for our new agents coming on board. Starlene, our main trainer, has mastered Zoom. And she is great training all of our new agents and their staff. And she's spending pretty much all day doing that. And I really commend her for what she's done with the training program.
That's fantastic. Thank you. And speaking of those kind of things like training, so my next question has to do with people maybe wondering a little bit about what it takes during the application process and then maybe pre-employment. So for example, do you have licensure requirements, training, education? Do you do background checks, pre-employment screening, asking for a driving abstract, anything like that?
We do actually. We have a third-party company that does that, so that there's no affiliation. We want to make sure that we give them the proper background check, and that's it's done based on either a staff or an agent position. So you do have to go through a background check. It normally takes about 3 to 5 business days. What they're going to look at is your credit and your criminal history. No felonies at all can be done. That's across the insurance industry. Other minor things are okay. And then as far as credit, you really can't have anything in collections over like $5,000. So if you have a pretty strong credit history, you're going to be okay. But some things you might be able to work on. And that's what that company will call you and talk to you about if they say you're disqualified tentatively. But they'll also let you know if you're approved. Once you're approved, at that point, you have to get your insurance licenses. And in the state of Washington, you have to have 20 hours of study in each license that you're applying for with the state. So you're looking at a total of 80 hours, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not, because the timer on some pages just clicks down and you've read it for 5 minutes, but they're going to tell you need to look at it for 10 minutes, And so that you have to meet the 20-hour requirement. And once you do that, a certificate button opens up on the course that you're taking. You take that certificate to the state, and they'll let you take their test for that actual license. And so you're going to be getting your Washington State life, disability and health, property, and casualty licenses. So you're looking at 80 hours of study and 2 major tests that you're going to be taking. We help you out with the courses. I have a great company called webce.com that I get a really good discount with. And actually, WorkSource has some great programs too to help with training. So if you don't have the funds for it, I know we can try to help you out, for the courses. Unfortunately, for the state test, we can't cover any of those costs because it is the state. They have their own requirements. So there is some additional. But I like to say, if you're going to be a real estate agent, you've got to get licensed. If you're going to be a mortgage person, you've got to get licensed. If you're going to be an insurance agent, you got to get licensed. And we have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients, which means we handle money and we have to handle it right. And so we want to make sure we have the right people at the right time in the right place. So with that being said, it's going to take about 30 days, to be honest. And during these 30 days, you're not getting paid no matter what program you're going into, because you're getting licensed to start. Once you get your licenses, then we'll actually have a start date for you based on the program you selected, and we'll get rolling into your training.
Great, thank you. Is there anything else before we conclude here that you'd like people to know?
I think one of the biggest things is knowing if you're going to be a farmer's insurance agent, it's about the community. You need to be involved in your community. Our district manager is really big with the schools. As you know, the schools don't always have the best supplies, so our farmers agents like to sponsor some of the schools, maybe a classroom, and buy their books for them or get them some supplies. Or, doing community events like in University Place, the duck race, sponsoring that. There's just so many ways to get involved. And as an agent, you want to have your presence in the community. You want them to know you're there. And the best way to do that is to get out, get your name out there, and become part of your community. Because really, that's what it's all about with farmers, is taking care of our communities.
Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you for that description. That was really great to hear about the community involvement piece. Those are the kind of things that sometimes make people even more drawn to go to a particular company, because especially people who want to give back. So thank you for that. So yes, we are grateful that you were here today. And again, I want to remind people, if you have any questions, leave them down below this video in the comments box, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So wishing everybody a good day, and thanks again, Al.
Thanks, Judy. It was great.
Thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact the employer at the address shown. Tell them WorkSource sent you.